We've all been to a cafe and gotten a cup of coffee, or chai if you're not a coffee drinker. However, all these cafes have one thing in common, that's keeping up the aesthetic. And normally that's through latte art. So coffee drinker or not, it's always fun to spice up your cup at home with a simple heart on top and maybe even impress your friends along the way. And you can pour a simple heart through latte art in under 5 minutes of practice. Today I'm going to talk about 3 points: milk consistency, pitcher placement, and the cut. It all starts by steaming the milk. According to Higher Grounds Coffee, you want your milk to have the correct texture or latte art will not be achievable. And normally the correct temperature can be comparable to wet paint. Some might also refer to melted ice cream. Either way, few bubbles, if any at all. I remember the first time I started latte art and I accidentally steamed my milk to be way too foamy. So when I tried to actually pour my latte art, all I got was this white blob on top. According to Higher Grounds Coffee, the way to achieve the desired texture is by doing both a mix of aeration and fully steam wand submersion. This allows for the steam to have a balance of both froth and steamed milk. This is done by holding the tip of the steam wand at the base of your milk and then pushing it down, fully submerging it after it's fully aerated until about 150 degrees. I remember when I first started at a third wave coffee shop and was properly trained on how to steam milk. I was taught the ratio of aeration to steaming and how temperature can be a guide for me while I'm steaming, as well as the way my milk sounds. And though milk consistency is a big part of it, it's only some of the story. The way you hold your milk pitcher and position it can also be a contributing factor. According to Green, you must have the sprout of your pitcher as close to the surface as possible in order to actually control your design. When I'm training new baristas, I show them the difference between pouring a design with my milk pitcher really, really high versus at the base of the espresso. And when I pour my milk from really, really high, it normally goes straight into the espresso, taking away any contrast I might have to actually see the design. Versus when I'm pouring with my milk pitcher extremely close to the espresso surface, I'm able to have a thick and contrasted contrast, so you can see the design very easily, and it's very prominent. According to La Marzocco, pouring directly into the center and pushing your design down allows for your design to be properly centered. Anytime I would pour latte art, I would always pour at the very top of my mug, and so when I'm finished, it would be very off-centered and asymmetrical, not very pleasing. However, I started pushing into the middle of my cup first and with my initial pour, and then pushing downward. So by the end product, my design is very centered and pleasing to look at. We've talked about steaming our milk to a wet paint consistency and pouring as close to the surface in the middle of our cup. And now for my third and final point. According to Green, the cut at the end of your design is what makes it look finished. It essentially means your milk with a sharp line down the middle of a design, creating the desired look. I would always skip out on the cut of latte art because I was always scared my milk would overflow over the cup and create this big mess. However, it wasn't until my mentor showed me that your cup can take a lot of surface tension, and so the cut is necessary in order to make your latte art look desirable. According to La Marzocco, the way to properly cut your espresso, or in other terms slice it, is by pulling your milk pitcher upwards while still pouring straight, then driving towards the bottom of the cup and lifting up once past the surface. This creates a sharp line through your design. One of the most important pieces of cutting your design is raising the pitcher high enough. Up until recently, I would always stay too close, which create a really thick line down my heart, making it look more like a clover instead of a sharp line, getting that heart look. In conclusion, there are multiple factors that contribute to creating latte art. However, with a few minutes of practice in each one, you should be able to create a simple heart within 5 minutes. You can pour a simple heart through latte art in just 5 minutes of practice. Today, we've talked about 3 points. First, milk consistency, steaming with the correct ratio of aeration. Second, pitcher placement, pouring into the center and just above the surface. And third, the cut, dragging your milk straight down from your design up high. At my job, I would always practice with 3 drinks a day, which normally took about 5 minutes. And at the end of each one, I would always go back to achieving the heart. With practice mixed better and with a little muscle memory to create something beautiful designs. And though simple is beautiful. And within 5 minutes, you should be able to create a simple, beautiful heart through latte art.